Well, I've been working on this one for a while, on and off. It's an early 101, HMV-101, and came in pretty rough shape. You know, the Rexine is lifting a little bit, which is normal, I guess, probably stored in a damp place. The motor was a solid chunk of crap. I had to dunk it in a bucket of kerosene, and I left it there for about a month and a half, 2 months. Oops, hitting something. And it freed up, cleaned it up nice, and now it's spinning well. I just set the speed to 78. And I've rebuilt the reproducer. One good thing about these early... Now, this isn't early enough to have the front crank. The earliest 101s have the front crank. This is going to be about a year or two into production, probably. Good enough so that it has the all-brass number 4 reproducer with the lettering on the front. Eventually, they put the lettering on the back, and they started making pieces out of pot metal. Now, Victor started making them out of pot metal after about a month or two of production. But HMV kept the all brass for a year or two, so there's quite a few bit more of them around, but not that many with the lettering on the front like that. And I had to use Victor gaskets on this one, not the orange HMVs. So I just don't have any in stock. I don't have any decent enough material to make gaskets for this out of orange material, and I'm not importing them from the UK because the price is prohibitive. But the Victor number 4 gaskets fit in there, they work, and that's all that matters. So this is kind of a test of both the motor and the reproducer. You know, I've spun the motor enough times to distribute the grease, so that's going to be okay. This machine was used quite a bit, I'm guessing. You can see how they repaired the handle. You know, they stitched them in. Those leather coverings come off those handles all the time. And while I do have new handles in stock, you know, somebody put a lot of work into that, so I'm just going to leave it on there. The winding handle here, that is incorrect for this machine. I got this without one. Basically bought this for parts, is what it was, but just too nice to put in the parts bin. That is a parts machine, and it's in pretty rough shape and extremely a lot of damage to the wood. You know, even on fire at one point by the look of it, so we're not fixing that one. That one's parts, some of which ended up in this machine, mostly hardware, and a few clips here and there. But it had that all-brass number 4, and I couldn't pass that up. All right, see, I got an electric record on here, electrically recorded, amplified. Jimmy Dorsey, there's a faraway look in your eye. Mostly I picked it because it looks a little bit worn and a little bit dirty, and that's an excellent way to test a motor. If it'll pull through a dirty record, you know, okay, without losing speed and everything, it's in pretty good shape. The motor is, not the record. And we'll see how the reproducer plays. Okay, I just lubricated up the old tone arm. We're all set to go. She spins right up because it does have a decent spring in there, surprising under all the crud that was on it. Let's see.
There's a faraway look in your eye. You're dreaming of something. What can it be? Oh, there's a faraway look in your eye. You seem to be spellbound. What is it you see? If I knew, dear, just exactly where I stand, I'd worry no more. If I knew, dear, even though you hold my hand, just who you adore, for there's a faraway look in your eyes. You're dreaming of someone say that it's me.
And there you go. That sounded pretty good. Reproducer's doing well, and the motor powered right through that record. Maybe it wasn't as worn as I thought. Still some work to be done. I have to do. The lid clasp is a little rusty, so I'm going to de-rust that before I put it back on. Here and there, little touch-up spots, some rusty screws and whatnot, which will get done eventually. No particular rush. I've had this machine about 3 years. I'm only just now finally getting around to finishing it. Well, Reproducer's good on this. Remember that. The number 4s were designed as a stopgap between the old acoustic reproducers for the acoustic records, the number 2, and the exhibition. And they were made to play not these 40s records, but Victor Electrics and the early electric records. Just a stopgap before they could come up with the orthophonic reproducers they eventually did to take advantage of the high fidelity sound and all of that. But the number 4 does pretty good, and so does the 101, which this is. I don't know the exact year because the number plate is not on it. The little plate that goes under there on the motorboard is missing, or maybe it just never had one. I'm going to guess on this. This is 1928, maybe early 1929, because it has that early reproducer, but it doesn't have the front crank. Somewhere in that neighborhood anyway, and let's see. Get a look at the top. Now, it's not in horrible shape. Under all the dirt, it was pretty good. I had expected to find the cover nasty and ripped up. I mean, here and there, you still a few little spots, but it's not really that bad. That'll clean up. It's just a little bit loose. Even that isn't that bad. I've seen much worse. Well, that's much worse. And everything's working now. Huh. Something's down there. I have to figure out what that is later. Probably nothing. And it came with a little plastic box of needles, which shows me somebody was still using this machine probably into the 1950s to have a plastic box rather than a metal one. And that is the one that belongs to the needles that are inside of it. So somebody was using this. Well, somebody's using it now. I'll have to glue that down, or maybe I'll just replace it. I'll see. Still clean. That'll clean up. I could probably glue that down there. And find a few more screws that are missing here and there. Don't know why they're missing, but I guess they worked themselves loose and fell out somewhere and someone never put them back. But there you go. An HMV-101 resurrected from the parts bin and playing well once again. Not finished maybe, but getting there.